You saw nothing.
Hey everybody! Happy First Day Friday!
I'm Tsukonko the Fanda.
No, I'm Tsukonko the Fanda. You're the Serene Azurine.
Oh.
So yeah, this is part 2 of our movies we saw in 2023 video. In the last video, we talked about all the movies we saw in the theater, and also briefly talked about the movies we missed out on seeing in theaters. A few of which got left out that I've included in the bottom of this. We'll quickly go through those. I don't know if they were in theaters necessarily, but we didn't get to see the new Chicken Run movie. Definitely interested in seeing that. The Birds. Good Burger 2. Loved the first one back when I was a kid. Loved all that. Really crazy that they decided to do a sequel after all these years.
You know what my favorite scene of the first movie was? It's when they undressed the characters and the one guy was wearing lingerie.
Oh my.
But that was hot.
Okay. Then was that next one? I think that's the Haunted Mansion remake.
I've been on the ride, never saw the movie.
I have seen the original movie. I do not think it was very good, but I didn't think it was as bad as some people say.
Nobody thought it was good.
Then Leo, I think that's the name of it. It is the animated movie on Netflix with...
About the lion. The white lion.
Is it
Kimba.
Yeah. No. It's about like a classroom iguana.
Oh.
And it's voiced by Adam Sandler. He even got a balloon in the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Wow, he's got a lot of pull.
Then we never did talk about the movie Marlowe. You want
the one with the dog?
No, that's the detective.
Oh.
The hard-boiled detective played by Liam Neeson.
He was a hard-boiled detective. Then you shelled him and put salt on him, and he was delicious.
So how would you rank that movie?
Oh, we're into the ranking. I would say it was.
We did see it.
I would say it's a. I would say it's a C tier.
C tier. Okay.
It wasn't bad. I actually really liked it, but for me a C tier would be like a movie that I thought was okay, but will likely never watch again.
Okay.
Like I have no urge to ever see it again.
Now, I don't know if we saw this year or last year, but I wasn't sure, so I put Puss in Boots: The Last Wish on here. How would that one fit?
Puss in Boots: The Last... Oh, yeah, that one was great. I would absolutely rewatch that. I would say, I would like to put it in A tier, honestly.
All right. Filling out A tier. And the last movie that we wish we could have seen was Tetris.
Did we wish we could have seen that?
I know I did.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the movie of how Tetris got made. I know you love the game, and
yes,
I'm a decent fan of the game as well. But anyhow, so the next this set of movies here are the movies we saw at home and not in the theater. So first, I tried to put them in alphabetical order. The first one is Birdman, The Unexpected Virtue of Innocence, I think was the name of it. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. That's where he's the washed-up actor that
Yes.
used to play a superhero in movies. It mirrors the real world to some degree.
Yes. Although, ironically, years later from that movie, he went on to reprise his role as the superhero, which is kind of neat. I'm pretty sure they had no idea when they made this movie that was ever going to happen. But yeah, although we have not personally seen the movie that he did that in. But anyhow, Birdman.
Yeah. He's a lawyer, and
great show. But no, the movie.
I liked it a lot. I would say that, you know what, as good as it was, again, not a bad movie. I'd still call it C tier.
Okay.
It was fine. I enjoyed it.
It had an interesting gimmick of feigning a one long single take.
Yes, it was really well done, and I don't feel like that. It wasn't irritating like it can be sometimes.
Yes. But yeah, there were a few like hidden ones in there. I don't know how many like actual cuts were used in the movie, but if there were a lot of cuts, you cannot tell. It's only like when day turns to night, night turns to day, like they'll like show a skyline or show a
I saw
door,
that movie.
and the door opens, and
Balfour.
it'll be a new cut. But anyway, Black Dynamite. So I had never seen the movie. I had loved the cartoon series. I finally got to see the blaxploitation live action film that spawned the cartoon series. And yeah, I thought it was really fun. I actually intended to do a video on it. I don't think we didn't end up doing one, did we?
We didn't. I had the hair already and all that.
But yeah, that definitely a really great movie. I totally watched that one again.
Yeah, I actually saw it for the second time. Yeah, let me put it in B tier.
All right, next to Sykes.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like the quality of the movie, the silliness. I would say most people would put it like a D tier.
Oh.
And like Birdman, like I would say, yeah, it's guts. Birdman is a better movie, but I would absolutely much rather watch Black Dynamite again than watch Birdman.
I mean, I was interested in seeing.
And I like birds.
Yes, I was interested in seeing Birdman again with you. But yeah, I'm not exactly like, hey, let's watch it another time.
Yeah.
But Black Dynamite, I'd totally watch Black Dynamite again. But that would only be my second time. But anyhow, yes, it is a very, very good movie. It similar to Birdman, it's trying to like be a thing. That sounds so weird. But yeah. They're both movies that are made in modern days that are trying to emulate a different style of movie than typical. And Black Dynamite is supposed to be like a, 70s?
Yeah, it's like a 70s blaxploitation.
70s blaxploitation movie.
And it is actually, the cartoon is a prequel to the movie.
Yes. But yeah, it is a lot of funny moments, and they don't take themselves seriously. There's like gaffes are left in at some places, and there's catchphrases all around, and just so many fun cameos. They have a bunch of cameos, but yeah, it is a great movie. If you watch the cartoon show, you should totally watch the movie. If you see the movie, watch the cartoon show. Next is Brightburn. Now, this one I had actually heard about from a friend who had seen it, and I didn't know what to think of it when it was out in theaters. I was like, I don't know. And they didn't really tell me much about it. They were very spoiler-averse for me there. But I knew that it was like a story about a kid who basically lives out Clark Kent's childhood. But something goes wrong, and he ends up being a bad person instead of wanting to be a champion of truth, justice, and the American way. So, what did you think of Brightburn?
Aliens. It was pretty nice. It was pretty much a story of Superman.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But I thought it was fine. I thought it was alright. Some of the it was low budget, so some of the special effects were. They hit a lot of the things.
I didn't know it was low budget going in, but it definitely feels low budget watching it.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It also had very little advertising when it was in theaters.
Oh, really? Okay.
But, most of the special effects don't really hurt it.
Yeah.
The only part that I thought was especially bad is when he's flying through the woods and it's just a still image.
Oh, yeah.
Of the guy flying, and they just make it zoom into the camera.
Huh.
It looks so bad.
I didn't realize that.
So bad.
Did you see the movie Chronicle?
Yep, I love Chronicle.
So, would you say that was a better movie than Brightburn?
Easily.
Okay.
Easily.
And that one had the gimmick of it's all told from the perspective of a camcorder.
Yeah.
Like the whole movie is nothing but like found footage, like Blair Witch Project style, camcorder footage, and it's very different kind of movie. But they're both, having a character gaining superpowers or having superpowers and doing bad with it. But anyhow, so how would you rank this? Would you say it's a C or?
Yeah, I put it in a C tier.
Okay.
It was supposed to be part of a larger cinematic universe.
That didn't pan out.
Yeah, there were going to be some new movies that tied into it. Oh gosh, the one that
so it was going to be like the Dark Universe
it was
sort of
supposed
thing.
to tie in with what was Ryan Wilson's
Super?
Yeah, Super was part of the same. He's referenced.
Oh,
in
that's
the news
right.
report.
I remember that they actually did. I remember seeing behind the scenes they mentioned that.
It was Michael Rooker doing the news report, wasn't it?
It's been a bit, but maybe.
Yeah.
But anyhow, next is Cable Guy.
Yeah, that was what I had seen at a party, and it was just playing in the background, and it didn't do well in theaters, and one person's like, "This is my favorite movie."
It didn't do well. Yeah, I definitely love this movie. I saw it as a kid. My mom and I were both fans of Jim Carrey, and I loved the movie. My mom hated this movie. She's like, "Oh man, Jim Carrey is being, a bad person. Yeah. I don't like this movie."
Yeah, and they don't. No one thinks about how Matthew Broderick is in the movie. Every time, Tsukonko, that happens, you stop the movie, just keep going.
But anyhow, yeah. So basically, this movie about Matthew Broderick is a guy who needs cable in his new apartment, and Jim Carrey shows up as Chip Douglas, a very deranged cable installer. And he forces his way into Matthew Broderick's life, becoming his friend to the end, pretty much, to steal a line from Child's Play. And he is he's very very wacky, and he's basically a kid who grew up as the TV as his babysitter, and now all he can do is think of things that came from television. And it is a very 90s movie. Jack Black even has a sizable cameo in this, as well as his partner Kyle Gass in a tinier cameo. But yes, it's a very fun movie, directed by Ben Stiller, who also cameos in the movie. And at least I'm pretty sure I remember that, right? Anyhow, what would you rate the movie, since you hadn't seen it before?
Yeah, I know only bits and pieces. It was definitely better than I thought it would be. Not exactly what I expected. I thought it was just going to be the cable guy, a real cable guy, relentlessly beating down Matthew Broderick's character. I mean, that does happen, but I thought it was just going to be him being merciless and everybody just thinking Matthew Broderick was crazy. But it seemed people had a pretty balanced opinion of the situation, and it was a weird story. It was just a weird movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I expected at all.
Was it fun? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. But that's another movie that, like, I seen it once. I don't ever think I never intend to watch it again. No, it's not bad. It's not bad. But if I have a free day, I would rather watch any of the A tier movies or even B tier movies.
Okay.
I would put it as a solid C.
All right.
That's just me, though. I mean, what are you doing?
I accidentally pushed a button on the keyboard. All right, but yeah, also is probably the first time a lot of people would have seen or heard of the I can't think of the name of it now. The jousting place you go to eat. Medieval Times. Thank you. Yes, first time you'd ever seen or heard of Medieval Times. One likely.
I knew about it. They used to advertise on TV so much when I was growing up.
Next is Cowboy Bebop, Knock on Heaven's Door, or Cowboy Bebop the movie.
Yeah, that was fine. It was just like an extended episode of the show.
Yes, but the show that you thought was good, though, yeah?
Yeah, I liked the show. I thought the show was great. It has some of the best fight choreography available in anime, which is weird because it's not even like the point of the show.
Yes.
It's just there sometimes. But like, you think fighting, you think Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But it has terrible fight choreography a lot of the time anyway.
You mean Dragon Ball?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay, so I just want to make sure it's not. You're not saying.
I didn't switch.
Bebop has terrible choreography.
But that's not even the point of Cowboy Bebop. It's more detective story, and occasionally get little bits and pieces of the character's background.
Yeah.
This one it's an extended episode. I would say it's a B tier.
Okay.
As a movie, it's not really remarkable, but
next,
as a movie, it's good.
Cold Pursuit.
Oh yeah.
Liam Neeson.
The Liam Neesons.
Yes, we got 2 Liam Neeson movies in a row on here.
Yeah. He plows snow and hurts bad guys.
Yes.
I liked that it was fun seeing him kick ass. It's a movie I could absolutely see, like, when it's snowing out, be like, you know what, I'm in the mood to watch that movie.
Yay!
So, yeah, I would say it's a B tier.
B, okay.
Yeah, it's a B tier. It's just fun. Look,
yes, it is definitely a fun movie.
It's a cookie cut. It's almost a cookie cutter dime a dozen movie.
But it's also a dark comedy.
Yes, that is the thing that makes it stand out, is the dark comedy aspects, and it's balanced wonderfully to tell an interesting story.
And speaking of Darkman is next.
I friggin' love Darkman. It is.
I had never seen Darkman before. I had probably seen like little pieces here and there. I kind of knew a bit about the story. But I had never actually seen the movie from start to finish. So it was very cool to get to see this, especially we were on a Liam Neeson kick at the time.
Yeah. I had seen it a few times growing up. I gotta tell you, the first couple times I watched it, I was entertained, but I didn't really get it. And as I got older...
It took me to grown up to appreciate it more.
Yeah, to really get it. And it is a Sam Raimi produced movie.
Yes.
And, like, as a kid,
it feels like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Seeing it as an adult, you can see the Sam Raimi influence and the cinematography and the
I'd definitely say there's only a very small handful of directors that I can, like, see a movie, be like, this feels like it's a movie directed by this guy.
He's one of the few that I think that really stand out for me, because I need it to be colorful and crazy. And it's just a weird world they created for it. It's really crazy. Don't watch the sequels; they're not good.
Okay,
They'll just sour you on it.
Okay.
And they were numbered out of order. Like the third movie should have been the second movie, and the second should have been the third, because
strange.
The chronology got kind of messed up.
So how are we ranking this?
I would say that's an A tier.
A tier, okay, top.
Yeah. It's a classic. Look, it doesn't stand up against today's movies.
Next is All You. This is the was it Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Oh yeah. I watched this on the train to New York City to get evaluated for surgery. And that was one of 2 movies that I had on my computer because my buddy gave them to me before he passed away.
The other one is much further down the list, but is on here.
I liked it a lot. I had only seen one other Planet of the Apes movie, which was the Tim Burton one. That was not very good.
It doesn't exist. It's not real.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't that great. And I'd seen a bunch of the original movies.
That one was definitely much silly. As far as all the movies, that one was a silly movie.
It was like a pure Hollywood movie with no substance.
But this movie
had a lot of substance, callbacks to the previous movie. A really gripping story, beautiful cinematography, some weird version of ASL. I only say weird because it wasn't as defined as like the hand signs in Echo, but
which we're still watching, by the way.
Yeah. But I liked it a lot. It was a great movie. That is definitely an A tier movie.
A tier, okay.
Yeah. It is so dense with storyline. I don't know if I'd watch it again.
The Departed.
Departed. I don't remember what that one is.
That's the movie Leonardo DiCaprio is a mobster with Jack Nicholson is the mob boss.
He's like a kid that grew up in the mob. And...
No. That's
Oh, is it?
I can't think of his name. Not Brad Pitt. What's his name? The other guy.
No idea.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon is the guy you're thinking of.
Ah.
Yeah, Matt Damon was a guy who was raised to be...
Okay, we're doing The Departed, though.
Yes.
What's The Departed? I don't remember The Departed.
You don't?
No.
Okay, so in the movie, Matt Damon was raised by the mob to be in the police force as an undercover agent. And Leonardo DiCaprio is somebody who wanted to become a police officer and kind of flunked out, and they were like, hey, if you want to be a police officer, we need somebody on the inside of the mob. So you join the mob, and you kind of tell us what you learned. And throughout the movie, they're each trying to find the identity of the other guy, and obviously not get killed. And there's a lot of really intrigue. It's a Martin Scorsese film, so it's pretty deep and lengthy movie. But yeah, it takes place in Boston, and Dropkick Murphy shipping up to Boston has a very distinct part in the movie. It might have been where the song first debuted. You doing okay over there, girl?
Don't stop.
But yeah, this is a movie I first saw in film appreciation class when I attended community college. So thanks to that class, I got to see this movie for the first time, and I've shared it with you now. So do you remember enough of it to rank it?
As I said earlier, yes.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was a lot going on. I didn't really care for it. It's not bad at all.
Okay.
Again, like a lot of these movies that I'm giving low ratings to, I liked all these movies we saw. But for me, that's like a C tier.
Okay.
I can't envision. Well, I said I liked all of them. I didn't like Transformers.
Okay. Next we have Case Closed, or Detective Conan, The Crimson Love Letter.
Is that the one with the VR people?
VR people.
Yeah. They talk to a woman from the past and.
No, this is Conan Edogawa in the case where they had a card game tournament where they had to find the card that matches the poem that was being read.
Oh yeah.
And there was like a big tower where the final was being held.
I mean, it was all right. It's just another extended episode of the show.
Fair, I'd say I agree with that.
The only thing is doesn't really tie into the show.
I can't remember if we watched another Case Closed movie. That's the only one that I put on here.
I thought it was okay, but for me that's a C tier. I didn't find it terribly gripping. I was like, I'd rather just watch a few more episodes of the show.
Yeah, I definitely want to get around to watching the series. The weird thing is though, there's a huge gap of episodes that are not on the streaming services. So next one is one that I watched alone, called Down to Earth, with Chris Rock, and the whole deal is that he has a Yu Yu Hakusho moment where he dies unexpectedly, and heaven says, hey, you can be reincarnated into somebody else's body until we can find you a replacement.
And he's like, sure, because heaven can wait.
I believe it's a remake of that.
It is a remake of
but yeah, he ends up in a rich white guy, and rich old white guy. Yes, rich old white guy. And he uses his time being this guy to try to make good on it with this guy's money, which he was a horrible person when he was alive. So this guy suddenly becomes Chris Rock's character, who's a stand-up comic. Go figure, right? And he's trying to woo this girl he fell in love with the day before he died, and even though he's appearing as this old white, rich guy, he's trying to, basically get this girl to like him. It was a very tall ask, but I thought it was a fairly, fun movie. But I also would say it's C. It definitely feels dated.
Yeah, I had fun.
They could totally remake that one nowadays and have it be more...
it's already a remake.
Yeah, I know.
It was enough.
But I'm saying, they could modernize this movie and have it, redo the story a bit and make it work.
I've seen other movies like it, too, and I did see this one. I thought this one was okay. I thought it was kind of fun. I did see one where a guy is reincarnated as a woman, so I got really attached to that. But they got to keep their memories for the whole thing.
Next one is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I would say it's an A-tier movie because it's got good storylines, silly characters. I
very great cast, and it's a beautiful sequel. Hopefully that's not showing up. Okay, no. All right, so definitely recommend it. Do you think people need to see the first movie before they see this one?
Yeah, seeing the first movie gets you more familiar with the detective, and it's neat to see different aspects of the detective. Yeah. Or see him in a different situation, but outside it'll enrich your experience.
So would you say
by no means necessary?
So would you say you can watch them in either order?
Yeah, well, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
If you see Glass Onion, you like it, check out Knives Out. If you see Knives Out, check out Glass Onion. They're both great movies, and we highly recommend them. Next is God Bless America.
I don't remember that one.
That was a movie directed by Bobcat Goldthwait about a guy who finds out he's terminally ill and decides to go on a killing spree.
Yeah. That one was a lot of fun.
So, kind of if Jigsaw decided, I'm not going to put people in traps, I'm just going to go and kill people who are assholes and people who are not very good people.
Yeah, I would say the movie was fairly cathartic. I'd put it in a B tier. I thought it was okay.
All right. Next is the Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah, my brain is not. I don't remember this
that is Ben Stiller falls head over heels in love with this girl he just meets, gets married impulsively because everybody else in his life has already got married and he just went to a wedding and he was at the singles table and it was nothing but kids.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh man, I've got to get married."
It is absolutely absurd because anybody who's been to a wedding. There are single people of all ages.
Also,
people's wives and husbands die.
This is another one that's a remake of a similar movie. I think it was originally from the 70s. But anyhow, so on his honeymoon, he finds out that the woman he fell in love with is awful. She's got so many different personality problems, and they are not compatible at all. And the woman is still trying to make things work, even though she's like the worst. And while he's on his honeymoon, he meets this other girl, and he falls for her. And it's kind of a how do I like make a relationship with her while trying to break off the relationship with the new wife. And of course Ben Stiller, does his Ben Stilleriest, stuff. Very, very silly movie. But yeah, what would you rank that one?
It's forgettable. I'd say it's a D tier.
Okay.
The characters are all kind of shitty characters.
I mean,
there are no good guys in this movie. The main characters, none of the main characters are good guys, and a lot of the secondary characters are bad people too. There's so many bad people.
I think part of the reason this was expiring on streaming, and we ended up watching The Watch, which is later on this list, because it was another Ben Stiller movie.
Yeah.
So we were watch a couple of different movies with the same actor. Next is L.A. Confidential.
That's I don't remember that one either.
That one.
You gotta recap the ones I don't remember.
Okay, Guy Pearce and what's the guy from Gladiator?
That's Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe and a certain other canceled actor are all detectives for the L.A. police force, and Dan DeVito is the informant who works at the newspaper.
Oh, okay. I vaguely recall some of that. I forgot it, so I barely remember seeing it.
I want to say this is another movie I saw thanks to my film appreciation class.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a nice movie. It was a nice enough movie.
It's very much a film noir, and I definitely recommend you play L.A. Noire, which I feel was heavily inspired by the stories that this movie was based on. And, which is all about you playing as a detective, joining the Los Angeles police force, and, trying to stop crime.
Okay.
In the same time period. But yeah, I'll put it in C tier, because I think it and The Departed are both worthy of being at least there. Oh, whoops, I accidentally put that in what we saw. That should have been down in the purple one. The Little Mermaid was one that we managed to rank or talk about, I think, in the last video. But that was one that we would have seen if the movie had done better. We probably would have tried to go see that. But anyway, next is Lucky Number 11. Movie was recommended to you by one of your friends.
He's like, you gotta watch Lucky Number 11 and this other thing.
Yes, The Usual Suspects, which is
Usual
at the end of the
Suspects.
list.
Lucky Number 11. It was a really neat idea. They had the one, hitman type
Kansas
character.
City Shuffle.
Yeah, he worked. They had these two friends that were crime lords, and they used to like hang out and do all the fun stuff together. Then they split, and they had buildings opposite each other, like a Wes Anderson movie or something. And then they have this hitman. Just that weird, quirky thing. Oh, I'm leaving, and he just goes across the street.
Yes, the rabbi.
Yeah, and it's like I liked the characters. They have the one dude that plays playing both sides of the whole movie, and
yes, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, and it was all right. I liked it. You know what? It was fun. It was a fun movie. Very interesting. I kept thinking I knew who the main character was, but like, oh no, wait, it could be them because they died. And then I was like, but then I would forget and be like, I bet that's that guy. And I kept trying to like undo it by saying he died, and then it turns out it was the guy I was thinking it was.
So what are you thinking?
That was a B tier.
All right. Next is Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, that was all right. Outside of there's a lot of visual gags and things.
Yes.
And cameos that are like blink and you miss it, or even if you see it, it's too small for you to even notice it's there.
But yeah, for everybody who's unfamiliar, this is a Seth MacFarlane picture with Liam Neeson in a minor role as a villain character.
Yeah, he's the main bad guy, but he's only in a couple of the scenes.
Yeah, he's kind of the Beetlejuice of the film, in that he's only in it for about 10 minutes, or so. But yeah, it's a fun comedy movie that, it's a Western. There's even a little shout out to one of our favorite movies, or favorite movie franchises.
Back to the Future.
Okay, just gonna spell it out. Yes, Doc Brown shows up in the scene.
The trailers. It's not
was he? Oh, okay.
Like, if you want to watch the movie without watching the movie, watch the trailer.
But yeah, it was a fun movie. We really like Seth MacFarlane, especially the Orville.
Yeah,
definitely recommend the Orville.
Except for his view on trans people.
Oh,
he's kind of not great about it.
Okay. So how do we feel about that? Also, the next movie has kind of got a trans vibe for it. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Million Ways. I thought it was okay, but that's another movie I will never watch again. I would say it's. I would. C tier or D tier? I'm gonna put it in D tier.
Okay.
I don't feel like it had enough going on for it.
All right. Next is Nimona.
It is pretty quotable though.
Nimona.
What is it?
Nimona. Animated movie about a girl who shapeshifts and
that one was a lot of fun. I liked it. It was another one that's again another movie that's kind of light on the story, but the story is a bit meaningful. It's a lot of fun. It was kind of like a Disney movie without it being Disney.
Yeah, I also felt like this could have been part of the MCU sort of thing, but done better than a lot of the MCU lately. The unfortunateness is I don't think they had a big enough budget that the graphics could have gone a little bit more Pixar quality. They could have been improved quite a bit, but it doesn't suffer too much for the budget. I think they did a great job at what they had. Everybody I think did a great job, and this is actually an adaptation of a book. A children's book, as I recall, and it looked originally before the finished product came out. The early previews of what it was going to be looked a lot different, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, definitely recommend you check out this movie. Like I said, it is about a little girl who has shape-shifting powers, and when told, it's like, why don't you just stay as a little girl? It's like, but I don't wanna. Like, I wanna be me, and to be me, I gotta be able to change my shape to be whatever I want. Right?
Yeah.
And so there's a bit of cloak and dagger type stuff. Characters aren't who they say they are type of thing, and. It's definitely one that you think you figured out the all the mysteries that's gonna be revealed, but nope, that's only the first half. The second half is we got another one for you. So it's got layers. So how would you rank this movie?
It is a B tier.
B tier. All right.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd say that's
Wasn't
fair.
bad. It was all right. I like it. It was colorful and fun.
Yes.
Chaotic neutral.
Okay, so now the reason I got my pirate shirt on, we watched a whole bunch of One Piece movies.
Can we just do these rapid fire?
Sure.
Kind of.
So, the first one we have is 3D 2Y.
Yeah. That is to fill in the gap of what happened during the time skip. Well, some of the things that happened with the time skip, focusing mostly on Luffy.
Yes.
It's really fun.
I think entirely.
Yeah. All right. But it's a more like supplemental stuff, and like a lot of times the stuff doesn't really seem to tie into the continuity of the show.
Yes, these movies often do not fit well at all. Like there's times where this had to be in this particular point in the timeline because of reasons, but the crew was not together at that time. They had no way to meet up to be in this point in the
there's
timeline.
No way to fit in a timeline.
For some of these other later ones. This one fits.
Yes, this one absolutely fits and could be canon to the show. It doesn't step on the canon at all. Well, maybe someone will find something.
Yeah, but, I don't know for sure.
But I thought it was great. It was a great film. And this is what, to me, like, non-heavily connected movies to the show should be like. Be like, if you're not going to really talk about the movie and the show and vice versa, this is the kind of stuff we should be doing to enrich it. Same thing with filler arcs. I thought this one was great. It's definitely one of my favorites of the movies.
Okay.
It turns a concept anyway. I like One Piece. I'd say it's a B tier.
Okay. Next is One Piece Film Gold.
Very beautiful cinematic movie.
Yes. This one was in theaters. So unlike the previous one, this one actually did play in movie theaters. It was a big budget movie. This is one of those ones that it takes place after Dressrosa, but this one is one that absolutely does not fit canonically.
There's no way to put it because the crew split after Dressrosa, and there's no point where they all got back together to just chill.
Yeah.
On the Thousand Sunny. But if you ignore that,
yes.
It's a lot of fun. The one thing is, like, the movie is fine. It's a guy with the power to control gold.
Yes, that was quite the overpowered power.
Yes, he was very powerful.
But up there with Eneru, I'd say, as far as characters with unbelievable elemental power that how do you stop somebody like this?
Yeah, they tied in Nami's childhood to there. It's like, hey, there's a character that she grew up with that you never heard of.
Yeah, we don't really get to know much about Nami beyond her, when she joined the crew. Yeah. So this was kind of neat getting more for her.
I would say the thing I loved most about the movie was the wacky races.
Yes, that was pretty fun.
I noticed it right away.
Wacky races and...
I'm not sure, and he looked it up.
And also a bit of Speed Racer thrown in there.
Yeah, they had a scene where there's cars that are powered, with little people or whatever, but
little little critters.
And but they otherwise look exactly like cars we'd be familiar with, and the majority of the characters were references pretty directly to Wacky Race characters from.
I'm shocked that I didn't put it together because I loved Wacky Race. That was one of my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoons I didn't. Obviously it came out long before I was born, but getting to watch it was really fun.
Yeah. References to old, basic cartoons
from
the United States. But overall, outside of the, really cool race scenes, it's a fine, serviceable movie.
Okay.
Visually beautiful, but without it fitting into the continuity nicely, it just feels like completely supplemental, which is what it is. It shouldn't feel supplemental, but I'd say C.
Okay. Next...
or ocean tier.
Next is, should be Heart of Gold, which was, a secondary, a TV movie that aired... took place just before Film Gold. A very weird story where they go inside the belly of a beast, along with a little girl who seems to be ageless.
Yes, it had something to do with the... They live in her dad. Is my dad's still alive. I didn't look for him in 500 years. There's only so many places she could look.
It was a very, very weird story. Even for One Piece standards, I thought it was pretty weird. It was an enjoyable story, but I definitely felt like it went on a little too long. Film Gold also had points where it dragged on, but I also appreciated that we got to see team ups with crew members that we don't see teaming up a lot. Specifically, Luffy and Frankie teamed up, which was pretty neat. But yeah, Heart of Gold. How would you rank it?
I would say it's another C tier because I didn't find it disappointing. It was just fine.
Okay. Next is Nebulandia, the one where Foxy came back.
Oh yeah, that was really fun seeing Foxy again.
Yeah, he's one of those characters where you don't really expect to find him as endearing as you do.
Yeah, he starts to grow on you. I would say I'd say it's a C tier as well. It's another movie that it's fine. Actually, I do like that how it again supplements and enriches the existing material without necessarily fitting cleanly into it, which is something most of the movies don't do.
And now these next two are both ones I believe were in theaters. First is Stampede, which was I think the latest one, the timeline that we've seen. Basically, everybody is invited to this big gathering, including all of the major pirate characters that were active, including some of the ones that are currently in the Wano arc that we've been watching. So we kind of got a sneak preview of how they fought. So that was pretty cool. And the villain had a really crazy, overpowered. Seems like that's a running theme with these is that the villain has some way over the top power, more so than even the regular series has, which has some pretty over the top characters. But he was able to combine things into a giant mecha.
Yeah, it was weird.
And he was even tough without using his powers. The first fight with him, he's just like, I'm tough, try to take me on, type of thing. And when they finally started to show they could handle him, he's like, okay, I'm gonna use my power now, huge mecha. And so it was quite a movie there. How would you rank it?
Let's see.
C. Okay.
It was fine. Maybe D.
Really?
I mean, it's definitely. That's another one. I would put it in C. It's One Piece. One Piece. I don't think.
And lastly, for the One Piece movies, Strong World. This is with Shiki the Golden Lion with his float fruit. He's a weird guy with swords for legs, and he kidnaps Nami because he wants her to be on his crew. What's that?
We reviewed this one. I liked it a lot. I thought I always appreciate the little things. I really liked the scene where I mentioned this before, where Nami was getting dressed.
Oh.
And
what about the bird? There's a bird.
The bird was fine, but I liked because when Nami was getting dressed, she was when she pulled up on her shorts, she did what a lot of people would do. She checked herself out. And she had to struggle to get it on into the right position. And I'm like, this is how people actually get dressed. They did it for fan service, but I appreciated it for its realism.
Yes.
Plus, Nami is beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. But, that's a very, 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 very minor point in the movie compared to the overall thing.
I latch on to weird things.
How would you rank this movie?
It's a C.
C.
Okay. So I'm pretty much going to put almost all One Piece movies in that. Almost.
Well, we still have yet to see Film Red, which is our next on our to-do list. Next is Phone Booth, the last movie we saw of the year. Yeah, we saw this New Year's Eve, just before watching the ball drop in New York City.
Yeah, before it expired. He's in a phone booth. Can't leave the phone booth. He leaves the phone booth. He's going to get killed by the people outside the phone booth. If he stays in the phone booth and doesn't do what he's told, he'll get killed in there too. So he's between a rock and a hard place.
This is Colin Farrell, by the way.
Yes. It was as if Colin Farrell had a bullseye on him the whole movie.
So I had seen this movie a while ago, and I thought this was something that was worth showing Azurean. What did you think? What would you rate this?
I thought it was a really good movie. Very clever execution. It does not have a typical formulaic ending. It's a genuinely good movie. I think this is one that even if you hate my taste in movies, which I wouldn't admit is bad. I have a bad taste in movies.
Okay.
I think this one's way up there. That would have to be. I would. It's either going to be a B or an A tier. I'm not quite sure. I'll let you be the tiebreaker on that one. I mean, this is your. You're in this list too. You can tell me you don't like where that is. And, it's probably an A tier.
Okay. All right. Next is Run All Night. Liam Neeson and his son are on the run from mobsters who are trying to kill him for being a witness.
Have you ever seen I gotta beat up the guys that I work for? That's the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's been done 1,000 times. This one's a little better because it's Liam Neeson, but to me it's just too lackluster. I would put a D tier.
Yeah, it's fair. It's
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it's fairly forgettable movie, especially when you compare it to some other Liam Neeson movies. But it's definitely worth a watch if you're a fan. Next is All You, Splice.
Yes, this is the other movie I got from my friend. He had on an unloaded flash drive. I thought because by the time this movie came out, Species was 4 movies in, and I'm like, this just looks like, low budget Species, and it had like Adrian Brody, a bunch of famous people, or big names, I guess I should say. I really thought it was gonna be like budget version or Kmart.
Or Mockbuster.
Yeah, Mockbuster Species. But it actually, I felt, was a much better movie than the Species movies were. It was extremely cheesy when it came to the scientists doing their lab work. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be the young hotshot scientists wearing T-shirts and playing rock music while computers go beep boop in programs that don't have beep boops in them. But
so Atari sounds.
Yeah, but once you get past the ridiculous lab setup at the beginning, once you power through it.
Are there any names in this that people might know?
Well, aside from Adrian Brody, I forgot a lot of.
Okay.
I forgot a lot of the people that are in here, but oh gosh, the guy that plays McKay and Stargate. He's also in A Dog's Breakfast. He was in Stargate SG-1. His character eventually crossed over and became a main cast member in Stargate Atlantis.
Okay. So if you're a Stargate fan, you might like this movie.
Yeah, okay. He is wonderful. I forgot the actor's name.
And I've never seen it, so I wouldn't have a clue.
But that's okay. But
and who plays the creature?
Oh, I don't remember. It's not somebody I know.
Okay. But, so how would you rank it?
I would say it's really good. Outside the cheesiness brings it down a bit. I'd say it's a B tier movie.
All right, B tier. All right, we're almost done with this. So we're on Superman Red Sun.
Yeah. This is where Superman is painted red.
No. This is where what if story if instead of landing in Kansas,
Elseworlds, he
landed in Russia and was raised to be a good old communist, supporting Ruski.
That's all you.
Okay. So we watched this alongside with Brightburn, and I think we watched it alongside Birdman. But yeah, we basically were trying to do when superheroes go bad. This one was a bit different in that he takes an established character that to be a good character and does an alternate version of him where he was given a different set of morals. And seeing how he, manages to mess up being a Superman. And I want to say that he ends up turning things around by the end. I don't think, like in Brightburn, he was not able to be redeemed.
Yeah, he got worse and worse until he crossed the point where he couldn't go back, and he didn't want to. But yeah, this one I don't feel like Superman wasn't just evil Superman. He was just different Superman. He's kind of like the mirror universe in Star Trek.
So what do you think? C tier?
Yeah, I'd say it's C tier.
So yeah,
they're all watchable. If you have a DC animated movie, it's easily pick it up, rent it if you haven't seen it.
I'm not the biggest fan of Superman in general. I don't think I've seen a Superman movie besides like the animated ones that I thought was like a really good movie. Like all of the Superman movies I've seen. They're either, oh god, that's awful, or it's okay. But yeah, this one is definitely much more watchable.
Like The Watch.
Yes, The Watch. Hey, thank you for the segue. The next movie, we mentioned this earlier, we saw The Heartbreak Kid, we watched The Watch as well. This is a movie of Ben Stiller forming a neighborhood watch after...
Which was the original title of the movie.
His friend got mysteriously killed, and the authorities didn't seem to care. So he decides to try to get his community together to be a neighborhood watch group, and... yeah, evidently, you might want to tell this story better.
Yeah. It's just, hey,
why
this guy works at a big
they have
box
to change it?
membership store, and
No, I mean, why did they change it to The Watch? You
know
the
it's because
story.
of well, I mean, I don't think we should. There was a terrible thing that happened in Florida, where someone from a neighborhood watch murdered somebody.
Okay. Unalived.
Yeah.
You say unalived on
Oh
YouTube.
my gosh! See, this is why I didn't want it to come.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, so they retitled it to just The Watch. And, yeah, the weirdest thing, though, is that there was a second act twist that the trailers kind of gave away, didn't they?
Oh yes, that's right. That they're I've seen the movie 2 times, and the twist is that there's aliens.
Yeah.
It would have been. I think the movie would have been way more fun if they didn't show that in the trailers.
Yeah.
But they needed a hook, I get it. But I would have preferred to have gone into it thinking it was just going to be a quirky movie on neighborhood watch, and then bam, there's aliens.
Richard Ayoade, who is best known for IT Crowd, plays one of the 4 main characters, and he's hilarious, and you'll enjoy every scene he's in. He's the British guy with the funny accent.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you unsure. Okay, so how would you rank that one?
It was okay. That's a C tier.
Okay.
That's a movie I wouldn't mind watching if somebody else put it on.
The last 3 we got here is What About Bob?
What about him? Bob Iger?
No, not Bob Iger. Bill Murray.
Costas.
Bill Murray.
Is that the one where he's at the vacation home?
Yes, this is the one where he's a
psychiatrist.
very annoying guy who forces himself on Richard Dreyfuss, who is his therapist, and
I didn't want to wear the
he's like, I'm going on vacation. I'll see you when I get back. He's like, no, I'm coming with you.
Yeah,
and
he never stops. He never leaves.
And he torments Richard Dreyfuss. Everybody else around him loves the guy. His whole family and friends. All seem to like Bob, but he drives Richard Dreyfuss up a wall. And, it's basically how far can we push this guy until he breaks? And, meanwhile, Bob is a hypochondriac with all kinds of neuroses, and it's kind of, to me, it kind of felt like Monk if he wasn't a detective.
I would say it's a solid C movie.
All right.
Sorry, I'm putting so many things in C.
No, don't worry.
I feel like D is too strong of a negative.
And next we have is The Usual Suspects, the other movie you were recommended to watch.
Yeah, that was one, because I had seen enough movies that are like this, as I mentioned in our review, that you could see the ending coming from a mile away, because, who's the least suspectable, the guy that you would least suspect in this whole thing? And one of the few guys who would actually know the situation. It's like, it was there, and that's when it finally arrived, here's the big twist.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a twist? Was I supposed to be surprised by this?
This movie has kind of become the Sixth Sense or the Citizen Kane of plot twist sort of things.
It was the same kind of thing.
It's kind of been referenced and quoted so much that it's a little bit old hat at this point, which thankfully Lucky Number 11 is a hidden gem of a movie, so you didn't know anything about that one going in, but you'd obviously either seen or heard, or you were able to just figure it out from pop culture.
Yeah, nothing specifically about this movie, just it's a similar idea. So, who could it be? Oh, the least suspicious person is the person? It's like that.
Yeah. So how would you rank it? D? C?
No. I would say it's a B tier.
B?
It's still a fun movie. Even with knowing the ending.
And who's in it.
Yeah.
And lastly is Your Name, or Kimi no Nawa.
Oh, yeah. anime where the guys are like, or the characters are like, was it 3 years apart or?
Yes, something like that.
And the girl has the ability to jump back in time.
They are connected. Actually, switch places.
Yeah, and she figures out how to work things and change history for the better, or the worse. No, I thought it was really interesting. I really liked it. It was a weird mechanic that would never be able to come up with myself. It's a unique take on time travel.
I believe.
I'd put it in B tier.
B, okay.
Yeah, it's not a stellar movie, but it's fun. It's got great animation.
I definitely watched it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. If you've seen any of these movies and you want to tell us what you thought of them, if you thought you'd rank them higher or lower, let us know. We've got plans to do a video about our upcoming convention real soon, so look forward to that.
That's true. Yeah.
Anther, New England. And we've also got plans to do another tier list talking about all the Marvel films and series, streaming series that have been out.
That's going to be a 5-hour video.
Yeah, that was going to be. We're going to have to figure out a way to break that into parts.
Oh, I have a really good way to simplify it, but we'll discuss it.
Okay. But anyhow, thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting. We might end up making this a thing. We'll do a wrap up of all the stuff we've seen in the previous year. So yeah. Again, that was everything we saw in the year 2023. Hopefully we didn't forget any. We may have left a couple out by accident. But yeah, that's quite a few movies there. Unfortunately, we didn't think any of them were worth putting in S tier. But S is S for a reason. It's something to reserve for the best of the best of the best type of thing. So yeah, there you go. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And happy Fursuit Friday. See you all in Anther, New England, and next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.